Hello and welcome to the DEL webinar, Family Support Pilot Tab tutorial. My name is Nicole Lohr and I am a pre-K specialist with the Department of Early Learning. This webinar is meant for staff at contractors participating in the Family Support Pilot who will enter or view information for the pilot into ELMS. For our tutorial today, we will be exploring the ELMS training site. So first we will start by showing you how to get to the Family Support tab in ELMS. I have a test child and family already enrolled, and so I will enter their ELMS ID number into the child ID search box and click search. When that child comes up, I will, and the child's name is Example One House, I will click on their child and family updates section. Once you reach the child and family updates section, you will go all the way over to the right-hand side and see that there is a tab called FS Pilot. That is where you will enter your information for the Family Support Pilot. Okay, so we will start by adding a pre-assessment for this family. You can see that the parents' names, Dad, Dad, and Mom, Mom, have already been auto-filled from another place in ELMS. So we can start by adding a pre-assessment. Okay, so when you open up the pre-assessment, it opens a new pop-up window, and you can see that the guidelines for opening up conversations with families and the bridge are hyperlinked here, and those are to our website. So first we are going to enter the name of the parent that we are meeting with today, and today we are meeting with Mom, Mom. Okay, and then we select her education level. For this, I'm going to select some high school. And the date of the initial pre-assessment is today. And for total household monthly income, I'm going to put $2,050. And that is for their total household income. Now I can click the Save button if I want, and that information will save. And then it says Record Saved Successfully up at the top. So now I will go through, and using the information that I gathered when I met with Mom, I will fill this out. So for some of these, I'm just going to click as examples. So they have consistent and reliable transportation. They have no legal issues at this time. And some family conflicts happen, but they're resolved easily. She often feels frustrated or angry, but she's able to keep calm and in control some of the time. Okay. She has some information and understanding of parenting, but she's having some challenging behaviors at home, so doesn't know where to get the right information for that. And we'll say that we're sometimes involved in the child's school, but not confident on how to advocate for her child at this point. And we'll say that she's somewhat able to engage in work, school, and family life because of children or family needs. Okay, physical and mental health, we'll say mostly able to. And we'll say that they do regularly do physical activities and eat nutritious foods. For personal and professional networks, let's say they can sometimes rely on networks to provide useful guidance and advice and support, and that they know some community resources but need help to access them. Okay, and we'll say that they're doing pretty well with debt, so they're current and paying more than minimum balances. And let's say that they have some savings, but it's less than 1 month's. Okay, and for Mom, we're saying that she has less than GED or high school diploma completion classes, and that's in alignment with this education level up here, some high school. Okay, and for earnings level, we are going to click on the Washington State Self-Sufficiency Calculator. I've already opened it in another tab up here, so we'll switch over to that. And for this household size, I'm going to say that it is a dad who's 31, a child who's 4, another child who's 2, and mom who's 30. You can see after I entered those that it comes up with a total of 4 people in the household. So now I click Next. And we see that for this family of 4, the living wage in Spokane County, which I selected, is $4,737. And so what I've done is I've taken their total monthly household income, which I entered here at the top, $2,050, and I've divided it by this total here, just really quickly. And that gave me 43%. So I can go back down here, and I can click that they're at level 3, a job earning with 33 to 65% of the Washington living wage. So I can either hit save or close here. I'm going to hit save just to be sure. And then I'm going to close this. And you can see that the levels have populated now down into the household. So we can see the pre-assessment levels right here. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how to download that bridge visual. It's this button right here that says Print Bridge. I'm going to click on it. And it may take just a second to open. Okay, so now you can see that it has popped up with a pop-up at the bottom here that says Open, Save, or Cancel. I'm going to hit Open. And that opens this to the bridge visual that is based on the assessment that I just completed. So you can see that the levels that are 3 or below are a little bit darker and highlighted with a thicker black outline. And levels 4 and 5 are highlighted lighter gray. Okay. And you can see also that the self-sufficiency calculator is, again, linked right here. So this is something that you can give the family to start your discussion about goal planning, goal setting. Okay, so let's go back and let's add a new goal. So I click on this big blue button right here that says New Goal. Okay, and so for this family, we are going to say that they want to start GED classes. This is a new goal, so we're just going to leave that there. And their target completion date for this goal, let's say we're meeting at the end of September. Let's say they want to start GED classes by the end of November if they can. Okay? And this is going to fall under Education Attainment. So I click that one. You're only able to select one category here. And let's enter some next steps. Okay. So first we're going to talk to the GED Prep Center staff. And we have the phone number here. To see what I need to do to enroll in classes. Okay. And we're going to say that let's do this by the 14th of October. That's 2 weeks. Family strengths and resources. Well, Mom has identified that she has a friend that has just done the same thing and can walk her through the steps. She doesn't identify any barriers or concerns or motivation and celebration for this. So we're going to go on and add the next step. The next step is she's going to ask about financial assistance. And she's going to do that also by the 14th. And strengths that she does have is that she knows that there is assistance available if she needs it. Barriers she has identified is that she does not like asking for help with money. And a motivation and celebration that she has identified is that if it will help her get a job in a few years, she can do it. We're going to add one more step. Mom also wants to sign up for classes at the end there. And she's going to sign up for classes. That's going to be her goal by the beginning of November. Okay. So her strengths are that she actually really liked a few high school classes, so she's getting a little bit excited about this. Barriers, she doesn't want to feel like she's the oldest one there. A motivation and celebration is that if this will help her get a job when her children are in school full-time, then she's excited to do it. Okay, so we'll say that the participant is mom. We have the family support staff already in there. And let's say we're going to meet after the 14th at some point. So let's say we'll meet on the 17th. And we're going to meet at 10 o'clock a.m. We've already decided this. And you're going to meet her at her home. We'll just put in that 10 o'clock a.m. is a great time to contact her as well. Okay. So we're going to save this. And the other thing that we can do is we can print this for the parent. And you can see that it brings up this pop-up down here as well again, so I'm just going to click open. And it does show the major SMART goal in the parent's words here. But this is a new goal, so it says true. That the target completion date is the end of November, and that the category is education attainment. And you can see our steps, lists with the family strengths and resources, barriers or concerns, and motivation and celebration there. And of course, there's not a date completed yet because this is a new goal and we're just giving it to her today. And here's a place for her to sign and date, and then it also has the next meeting date down at the bottom. Okay, so now I'm going to close this. And you can see if we scroll down to education attainment, you can see the pre-assessment level that mom was at, and you can see that we've entered the goal of starting GED classes here. You can always edit that goal right here or add a new one up here. Okay, so now we're going to go to a different child. And I'm going to show you how this works for a two household family. There we go. So I'm going to click on the Family Support Pilot tab. And you can see that I have already entered an assessment and a goal for this first household here. So this is where a child lives in two separate households with two parents. So this first one, the household is dad. And for dad, I have entered this assessment. So I'll show you the pre-assessment here. And I've entered his education level and how much he makes per month and the questions to the assessment based on our conversation that we had. Okay, and I also have printed the bridge visual for this parent as well, which is right here. And you can see where the highlighted areas are, level 3 and below. And that the target area for this goal is going to be savings. So I'll show you what I did for this goal by clicking Edit Goal. So this parent wants to save $200 for emergencies. This is a new goal, and it goes under financial management under savings. And we've set up some next steps here. So got setting up an automatic withdrawal with his bank account, creating a budget, and sticking to his budget. And we've got family strengths and resources, barriers or concerns, and motivation and celebration entered as well. Okay, so I'm going to click print so I can show you what this looks like. So here's the major goal for this family: setting up an automatic withdrawal for $50 every 2 weeks. And you can see that a barrier concern is that the parent will just move it out of savings if they need it. But that the competing motivation and celebration is that they're tired of having no savings, and having something will help them be way less stressed about money emergencies. And you can see at the end of this, the third step here is stick to the budget so that they can save for $200 for emergencies. And at the end, we've identified that at the end of October, if this parent is able to stick to his budget for that first month, that he will take his child out to get a $1 ice cream cone to celebrate. And you can see that they're going to have a meeting close to the end of October just to check in and see how Dad is doing. Okay, so I'm going to close this. And you can see that here's household 2, Mom, and I could add a pre-assessment for her as well. Okay, so I'm going to add a pre-assessment for Mom. I'm going to say that her education level is some college or professional training, and that today's date is when we're doing this assessment. I'll also just put in that she makes $1,500 a month. And let's say she's got a partial housing subsidy, and she has some basic household needs that are barely met, and that we have maybe can use public or private transportation most of the time. So let's save this for now. Let's say I want to close it and come back to it. Okay, so I've closed that, and you can see that there's the option to go back and edit the pre-assessment. As you can see, for household 2, the first 3 that I chose, housing, basic household needs, and access to transportation, have populated, but the rest have not. And maybe that's because I haven't met with Mom completely yet, and these are just some things that I know about their household so far. And I'm going to have that meeting with Mom to get the rest of these, the information that I need for the rest of these questions. So let's say I go back and I do that, and I can edit the pre-assessment and keep going here. Okay. One of the other things I'd like to show you is the difference between the pre-assessment and the post-assessment. So let's say it's spring now and we're going back to do a post-assessment, or we're going to do a post-assessment with Dad. Okay. So this is Dad. And remember, one of his goals was to save some money for emergencies. So we're going to say that they don't have a current education goal. And we're going to say, well, it won't let me go forward in time, obviously, but we're going to say that the assessment is going to happen today. And let's say his total monthly income has increased to $2,000. Okay, let's save this. And let's say we're still here, fully met. Let's say they have consistent transportation now. Okay. And just so I can show you, I'm going to click all of these at the top. Level 5. Let's say he did really well on his savings, and now he has a savings of greater than 3 months' expenses or more. Okay. And we'll still put him right here for GED or high school 21 plus complete, because he didn't have an education goal at this time. And let's say he got a new job and now he's gone up to 66%. Okay. So now you can see that this is changed into edit post-assessment here. I can always go back and change it. And then the post-assessment levels have populated down here, and you can see that there's been growth, or there hasn't. So for education attainment, you can see that there was no growth at this point, but for savings, there's been a growth of +4. So that's really helpful to show that growth for each household when they have a pre-assessment and a post-assessment. And I can go back and I can print this bridge for this family again. I'll click the open button. And now this looks a little different. There's still this one area that's highlighted, and maybe that's something that the parent will choose to work on later, but it's looking a little bit different. Okay. So we've come to the end of our tutorial for the ELMS Family Support Pilot tab. If you have any questions, please contact myself, Nicole Lohr, at nicole.lohr@del.wa.gov. Thank you.